Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Look nice today. So do you, Jay.
Thank you. Pleased
How are
to be
you, my
here,
friend?
sir.
Yeah?
Can't wait to get started.
I know. We were held up a little bit as constantly being peppered with shit from people.
Well,
Don't do this. Don't do that. You should do this. Why do you do that? I'm looking at your Twitter account, and some guy's ragging on you for, liking rap music or something.
yeah. Says I'm a child of the '90s. I should like grunge.
Yes.
I do.
That's it. You're in
Yeah.
a 4-band window, and that's all you can
Right.
step out of. And so, but I was reading your tweets. They're pretty funny. All of a sudden, you're talking jorts. You accused him of wearing jorts.
Yeah, I'm listening to Cinderella.
Yeah.
He didn't take issue with the Cinderella. He didn't challenge that, but
Nah.
he did challenge me hard on the jorts. Proclaimed to have never had them. Seriously, not even as a kid in the '80s, you didn't have jorts.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not kidding. I've never had any. I really just feel like they would be so uncomfortable.
Dude, I disagree.
Okay.
They're very, very practical. As mentioned in my tweet, they have the storage of jeans and the comfort of jeans.
Yeah.
And they're breezy on the legs.
Yeah, that's exactly
But I
what you
think-
said, which is funny.
Dude, I don't have a problem. I mean, other than the fact that they're completely grotesquely out of style.
yeah.
And some would challenge me on that. Fuck you, dude. You don't know shit. You know?
Yeah.
They're in style in some circles, I reckon.
Sure.
But overall, general population,
Like
I'd
if
say
they-
most people would cringe at the sight of a jort.
But a jort is going to make a comeback. I mean, they all
They
do.
all do. Yeah, and if you just keep wearing them, then I'm sure you'll be looking fucking fly in a second.
Would you be cool with a retro but kick-ass new 2018 version of jorts?
I would. The
You think
same
you could
way
get into it?
I'd be fine with parachute pants.
Yeah, parachute pants. They never went to parachute shorts, did they?
No.
I could have gone for some of those. I wonder.
Just
Parachute
zippers everywhere.
shorts.
Could you imagine you and I with skin-tight parachute pants like back in the day if that came back in style? We'd have to wear them, right?
Dude, remember when guys were just wearing like spandex shorts? Like spandex shorts.
Yeah.
Like your junk just sitting there?
Dude, I had friends in junior high that wore, and it's a ballsy decision, man, like full, straight-up David Lee Roth full pants with the wrestling shoes.
Fuck yes.
And like would walk the halls. Paul, this one guy, Paul, I'm thinking of specifically, like walking the halls in those full length, crazy, like bosdy bop, zitty bop pants.
No offense, but that is a strong Livonia move.
Was it?
Yeah,
You think? Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. Well, that's where I was, Riley Middle School, and yeah. And then I got a text to you and I from Sarah Titties. And I don't even know what she's talking about. Sometimes she's just like out there. Like I don't know if she's listening to us really.
Yeah.
But she sends the text. You guys cannot make fun of Nicole Brown's murder.
Make fun of Nicole Brown's murder.
And first off, absolutely we can make fun of Nicole Brown. I mean, it's a pop culture thing at this point. But no, I don't think we've ever like made fun of Nicole Brown. OJ, the jury, the reactions in the country, the celebrity worship of OJ after everyone knows he committed these double murders. Like we can make fun of all that.
Johnny Cochran. Why are we even having a trial here? I'm Johnny Cochran in a knit cap.
Who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran in it. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
That son of a bitch, huh?
Yeah, love it.
I mean, I guess if she's talking about you reading the script from the If I Did It book yesterday.
No
and, like,
one made fun of Nicole in
I know,
any
that's
way.
my point, though. I agree.
Well, did we or did we not?
What do you have rabbit ears with Sarah anyway? Who cares?
I don't know. It was on the heels of you fighting with what's his name? 'Cause
I'm
she
not
sends
fighting.
you were jortsing fighting with someone about the music world and what you're supposed to be into. I don't know. It just was like, all right. I get this all the time from people that give me tips and what we should and shouldn't talk about. And I'm like, oh,
Start your own podcast.
Tell
That's what
me.
I always say, dude. Like,
stop
dude,
telling me what to do.
you can buy a mic and you can start talking, and if people listen, then whatever.
And you can not joke about Nicole and wear your jorts. It'll be awesome.
Sounds like a terrible podcast.
It sure does. Sure does. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. A lot going on in the world. R. Kelly blowing up on Twitter and the world today. BuzzFeed had a big story about him apparently running a cult.
Well,
But here's the
more of
problem.
a harem.
Yeah. R. Kelly's just a creep.
Yeah,
He's a
everybody
creep.
knows that. Everybody knows that.
I mean, what was the famous video that he was
Peeing
dragging
Yeah,
video?
he's pissing on like a 14-year-old
Right.
chick or something.
and tried to say that was old or something, and she wasn't really 14, but his Grammy was like in the background in frame, and so they were like identify when that was. And but yeah, there's these parents who have come forward and talked to BuzzFeed about how he's running a cult and he's basically brainwashed and kidnapped their children, their
I hope this
teenage
isn't true,
children.
Mike. This is awful.
I know.
Kidnapping is obviously illegal. And this is maybe a dumb question. Is just having a cult illegal?
Not
No,
really.
No. If
So
people-
just if it's grown adults
Yeah.
and you just get them to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wondered.
free expression of religion.
And that's kind of what R. Kelly's people are leaning on. You know, like, dude, you can do whatever you want. But these parents, it's just so sad when you've got a 17-year-old and it's like, oh yeah, she wants to get in the music business, and then they're plucked out of the crowd at an R. Kelly show and given a cell phone, and he's like, what happened? He's banging our daughter now?
Yeah,
it's like
right.
he knows the legal age of consent in every city he's in, and he wants them as fucking young as possible. And then the next thing you know, they're not listening to their parents, and they're like moving in with R. Kelly under the guise of, yeah, we're working on an album and shit. And now he's apparently got like property in Atlanta and Chicago, and they live in guest houses. And but it sounds
How
like
many of
he's-
these chicks are there?
I don't know, like 6 of them. And is that not enough?
It's hardly a harem and definitely not a cult.
Yeah, I know, but so I'm trying to think. Like some of the women in here, like they've called the FBI and the police, and they're like, yeah, they appear to be happy. It's kind of like the Jim Jones thing, where it's like, well, they're not really making any complaints, and they are technically of legal consent age. I mean, he's in his 50s now, and they're 17, 18, that kind of thing.
I am Googling how many chicks does it take to form a harem.
Good
as we
question. That's a
speak.
great question. Apparently, though, some of the women that worked really in his tight inner circle that are no longer in his inner circle are saying stuff like, you think you're going to like move into R. Kelly's lavish existence and this and that, but it's like, no, you have to ask for food. You have to ask to go to the bathroom. He's a master at mind control. He's a puppet master.
Hold on, there's just an article. 5 things to know about harems before you get one. Sorry.
What do you got? What does it say?
Well, I've got how many girls does it take?
Great
Let's
question.
see,
What would your guess be?
I don't know.
To have a
feel like-
harem? I would
feel like
think
you gotta have-
eight plus,
It's got to
right?
be in double digits, I would think.
Really?
But
I mean, is this
6
like
might be there?
what's
this
that?
one guy goes,
I think 6 might be.
I always
there.
thought 4 or 5. It can sometimes be 3, though. It's just a Reddit strand.
What is there any master guide on
I'm still looking.
on harems? So apparently, the ones that are living with him now, we've got a 31-year-old den mother who trains newcomers on how Kelly likes to be pleasured sexually. She has been best friends since high school with the girl in the videotape for which she was tried in 2008. Mm-hmm. There's a 25-year-old woman who's been on the scene with Kelly for 7 years. So you cut that back. She's like 18 years old when she meets him. A recent arrival is a 19-year-old model who's been photographed in public with Kelly, which is a big rarity among the women in his circle. An Atlanta songwriter who began a relationship with him in 2009 when she was 19, and an 18-year-old singer from Florida. And one of these 3 women that are talking here said this one's his favorite. The 18-year-old. That's his favorite of all the girls. That's the number one. Women who live with Kelly, who he calls babies, are required to call him daddy and must ask his permission to leave. A black SUV with a big-ass security driver sits outside all these houses. Kelly confiscates the women's cell phones immediately so they can't contact their friends and family. He gives them new phones that they are only allowed to use to contact him or others with his permission. He films his sexual activities and then shows the videos to his boys in his circle. So we like sit down together and we watch me bang all these young chicks.
Sure.
Mac, the star's former personal assistant, said Kelly almost always tells the women to dress in jogging suits because he does not want their figures to be exposed. He doesn't want them to look appealing when other women are in the same room. He would make the girls turn around and face the wall in their jogging suits because he doesn't want them to be looked at by anyone else.
Holy shit.
Yeah. How is that able to go on, man? Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, he's filming all this stuff. And
Does he really have that much money left?
I was wondering the same thing. Like, what is R. Kelly? And the
You
problem
gotta have
is,
some funds to pull shit like that, right?
yeah, but I guess he still gets regular work. Tour. He's on tour now. He's got a big summer tour.
What was his big one? I believe I can fly.
And then he had that trapped in the closet thing they point to. But dude, that was like a joke, wasn't it? Remember that? Do you remember that epic like 6-part trapped in the closet?
I really don't.
It was like some artistic thing he thought was going to be huge and take over the world.
Yeah.
150 million. 150 million.
My
It's a
God,
celebrity
man.
network. Dude, I know. Anyway, I guess, but he's still, he's working with Lady Gaga and he's working with so and so and all these other people, and but yeah, these mothers and parents who are like, well, R. Kelly banged my daughter, and she called me from a hotel, and we couldn't find her, so we called the police. Police show up, and they're like, yeah, everything's fine, everyone's of legal age, and then the girl comes home, and it's like, well, from that point forward, we made the decision that you are only allowed to talk to R. Kelly when your mother or father I is present. It's like, okay, good luck with that.
Right.
Next thing you know, she's gone for the weekend and banging him, and these parents are like, well, yeah, then he wanted my daughter to go on tour with him so he could show her what the inside of the business is really like. And it's like, we thought it was a good career move for her, but we didn't want any funny business, so we sent one of her girlfriends with her to keep an eye on things. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Created a threesome. That's all you did.
I just don't understand it, but it shows the level that parents are willing to overlook if it's fame related.
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
think fame is involved. Can you imagine sending one of your kids off to? But these other people are so desperate. It's just unbelievable.
Hey, insurance, we all need it, and most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all of that. Brent has over 29 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasik at 734-455-1900. Get a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, it's 734-455-1900, and ask for Brent.
Did you see Seattle's mayor, Ed Murray? Looks like he's not
hot water.
Yeah, maybe not. I just this is like this might as well be the priest banging kids story all over again. He's never been charged for anything, but he's not running for re-election this year after this story is broke now. But yeah, a child welfare investigation from 1984 has come out, some Freedom of Information Act, and gives their report on kids' claims that he was raping them.
Oh.
Yeah. And Jeff Simpson is one of 4 men who say Murray, who's now 62, abused them when they were teens. Former crack addict Del Von Heckard was the first to have his allegations reported this year. Then we got LaVon Jones and Lloyd Anderson all saying they were abused. Murray, of course, the mayor of Seattle, has always denied the allegations. The Seattle Times is the ones that published this unsealed report that was written in '84 by welfare officials. In the professional judgment of this caseworker, who has interviewed numerous children of all ages and all levels of emotional disturbance regarding sexual abuse, Jeff Simpson has been sexually abused by Edward Murray. She added that under no circumstance should Murray be allowed to care for any other minors. Prosecutions, though, this is the problem. They chose not to bring charges against him because of his of Simpson's troubled personality. It was Jeff's emotional instability, history of manipulative behavior, and the fact that he has again run away and made himself unavailable that forced my decision, the DA said. We could not be sure of meeting the high burden of proof. Mm-hmm. And, this is what a lot of these guys do, is they, oh, I'm going to foster kids or, and they go into these inner cities and just prey on these kids that have nothing. They've just got nothing. They're living in the system. Of course they're going to be manipulative. Why wouldn't they be? They can't trust adults. They can't trust authority. They've got no hope. And it's like, here's this guy with means that's going to take you in. And next thing you know, he's fucking you, or he's raping you, and then gives you $10 to keep your drug habit going.
They got nothing but an operational butthole.
Yes, exactly. And so it's like $10 or some crack or this or that. And so how good is that kid's word? He's a 17-year-old crack addict, who comes from the unstable, child welfare system.
So where are they in the process then? He's being charged, or he's been convicted, or what?
No. They deal with, because this goes back a few years, 1984, so you've got statute of limitations and he said, she said. But when you've got 4 or 5 people come out that don't really know each other that are all saying the same thing. Oh yeah, I would blow him and he would give me crack or $10. Yeah.
Just 4 or 5 people have lied in the past, though, so we should say it's all alleged.
Have 4 or 5 people lied about
They
the same
have.
exact thing like that before? Does that happen routinely?
It's
More than I'd
happened,
think.
Mike.
Yeah. After the initial allegations in April, though, he did halt his campaign for re-election, so I suppose that's good news. I will say I looked at the picture of Ed Murray, and I went, oh, yeah, he fucks kids, for sure. Yes. Oh, without question. No doubt about it.
Can just tell.
Just got that look, that creepy
Oh, yeah, I know the
look.
look.
He's
I know the
pulling
look.
up a picture now.
He's laughing under his breath.
He's a public figure. Fuck him. Go ahead, E. Pull it over.
I am. I'm making it bigger.
There was
No.
there was a different picture I saw, E, that I was like, yeah,
I don't know. That looked pretty.
might have been one of these.
Okay. They're. I don't know. I think they're all pretty bad.
They are pretty bad, but
Here.
maybe I came too strong with that.
I think you. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
mean, we all. That's the problem. Eventually, everyone looks.
I don't know. He just looks like somebody's Uncle Jeff.
Yeah.
I think this one looks a little creepy.
I
but
do too.
But he's also caught probably in a very. Honestly, that could be. He has a microphone by him. It could be a very weird moment. You know what I mean?
Because the microphone's by him?
Well, no. I mean, he could have been listening. He could have just made a statement. I feel like in this. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just caught in motion, kind of.
Listening
Yeah.
intently as they took 1,000 pictures.
Yeah, he's not posed.
All right, maybe he's innocent. Everyone's lying. All these kids are lying.
He still could be guilty just because these photos don't.
It's all alleged, Mike.
I know. I understand that. It just seems obvious that people are taking advantage of people that they know will not have a credible claim in the end. You know, the priests, that's what
Classic
their MO
weak
was.
gazelle, man.
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
back of the pack, you just grab that one.
Yeah. Hey, you see Bruce Jenner is considering a run for Senate
I did see. That's great.
in California. Dude, can we not do this? Can we not have celebrities just like announcing they're running for office every week?
I don't know. What's he stand for, Mike? I need to know.
He's conservative though. That's the funny thing. We talked about it on
Generally,
this
yeah, he
show.
is.
He still gets major like fight back all the time for the fact that he's not. They don't the LBGT
Yeah, you'd think
community
he'd be a
doesn't.
flaming liberal, right? But he's not.
And so
Yeah.
they're like,
Well, he is still technically a 65-year-old white man.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with that. So, yeah, she's currently looking into where she can do a better job of promoting LGBT rights. So we're going to have a one-topic person running here because the theme that's over and over throughout this is that LGBT rights is really the important thing. And I suppose that would work in California, but I don't see the rest of the country, like, falling in line behind that issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, she just needs California to vote for.
Yeah.
Him or whatever.
Yeah. Jenner, who voted for Trump, said she's been working with the American Unity Fund to help GOP lawmakers better understand LGBT issues. She believes she could change the face of the GOP if she ran for Senate. The perception of the Republican Party is that they're all about rich white guys trying to make money. I would hope we can change that perception and make this the party of equality.
Another rich white guy sitting there in Washington. I don't see any change there.
Yeah.
just a rich white guy wearing a dress.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
She'd be up against Dianne Feinstein, I guess, Democratic senator who has not said whether she will seek re-election, and Kamala Harris, who's just been recently got there.
Really?
I don't see her going anywhere. Yeah, her seat doesn't expire till 2023.
Feinstein's been there forever,
Yeah,
right?
she's
Like
ancient.
even from the 70s or something, maybe.
What is she? She's 84 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so her loyalties are not with the Republican Party or with Trump, though. It's to her community. So we'll see how that works out.
Jesus, are you ready for this day in history with Big E? Are you ready, sir?
really.
Well, that sounds good to me. Here we go, Jesus.
It's not gonna. Well, the sound that you're using is not gonna really
Gonna
fit.
but this is going to inspire us to learn a bit of history.
This is the most recent of the this day in histories by far. Maybe within 100 years, to be honest with you.
Is this against the rules?
I don't know.
Any
Did
day-
we set parameters?
I don't
never
know that
set
we
any
did, but
parameters.
maybe we should, because I feel like,
It's 1941, dude. That's not.
all right, that counts as history, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a long ass time ago.
It was this day in 1941 that Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hit streak came to an end. And I'm very fascinated by that. That hit streak has always been something to me that I really enjoyed. Baseball is my favorite sport, and I don't think it's ever going to
Is it?
happen again. Yeah,
Baseball's your favorite sport?
yeah, it's my favorite sport.
What fascinates you most about that event?
Just the fact that how baseball's played today. I just back then, there definitely seemed to be more of a, home run was, even until Babe Ruth came around. I know Babe Ruth was around in this period, or after that, I guess. I don't exactly know when Babe Ruth played, to be honest with you, but, but like baseball used to be a lot more of a freaking, it was not based on this just power game necessarily, and the idea of like
Putting
hitting
the ball in
hits,
play?
just putting the ball in play and getting hits and trying to just move runners over instead of this just trying to get the fancy home run and shit.
It's when the game was great, right?
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
exactly.
when it was all white.
And because I don't think anyone will ever have a 56 game hitting streak again. And
Well, not with black people on the field, they won't.
The second closest is Pete Rose at like 44, I think. I was looking at it earlier.
This is your day in history.
Yeah,
You
you,
know.
you should don't
know.
ask me, dude. This is your
45.
presentation.
Well, it's funny. It says 45, 44 in parentheses. I don't know what that means. Highest Tiger with a hitting streak is Ty Cobb, 40. And what's also interesting is that Joe DiMaggio had a 61-game hitting streak in the minor leagues. Longest hitting streak in the minor leagues
Holy
ever.
shit.
61 games in a row with a hit.
So who ended the streak?
I don't know. Some pitcher.
Right. Right. Some pitcher did.
Yep.
Let me look over here if it says.
Some pitcher.
Was it the parameters we did give him were do not just go to Wikipedia
Right.
and
I know.
like read the first
I
paragraph.
wasn't. I did most of this without doing that. No, no. The parameters were just that I couldn't just read it over to you guys. I had some level of. This is the first thing I haven't said.
I'm asking
without
you a
looking up.
pretty basic question there. Who ended the
Yeah, I
streak?
don't remember.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't see it here.
So Joe DiMaggio had a streak and it ended today.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
else do you know about it?
that it was impressive. I don't know.
I don't want to hear an editorial. I want to hear a historical fact about this.
Yeah. What team did the streak end against?
What team
I
was
think
he
it was
on at
Cleveland.
the time? What team was he on?
Of course, he
at
was
the
on
time?
the Yankees. Everyone.
Dude, but you should. I don't want my professor going. I think he was against Cleveland.
Yeah, and then
like
turning to Wikipedia, furiously scrolling.
I don't.
I just don't want that in a professor.
No.
I understand that. I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Who did it begin against? On what date?
It does say that. Well, on Wikipedia it says it. It was May 15th. He started on May 15th, ended July 17th. It spanned through the All-Star game, which is in Detroit that year. And he
So-
got a hit in the All-Star game, too, although that doesn't count towards the hitting streak.
And what was the
but
streak comprised of? How many singles, doubles,
I
triples?
don't
home
know.
runs?
But he hit four. I know he hit like 406 during the streak. And I know the Yankees were 17-7 when he started his streak, and when the streak ended, I believe they were like 56-25 or something. So they fucking dominated.
Were
during,
there any
obviously.
games in the streak where he only was walked? In other words, the
Shit, that's a good question.
It's a great
the
question.
box score will show that 0 for 4 or whatever.
I don't know if I don't even know if that counts or not.
Were there any games in which he got a hit, like towards the end of the thing, where people were desperate for the streak to continue, where it was like
I don't know
that
that
should have been
meatball? You got
caught?
a meatball?
Well, no, that ball should have been caught, but they didn't give a guy an error because they wanted the streak. Were there any
I
questionable
don't know
moments?
the answer to that, dude.
in
Of
the
course,
hitting streak?
dude. The suggestion
Was there some
that-
home cooking
You know
with
what?
a
I don't
scorecard?
need to look at the thing to know that in 56 games, yes, there was probably a time when it came down to the 7th inning or
Yeah, but
8th
you're the
inning.
professor. It's not probably.
Well,
That's interesting too, Mike. That's a great point. How many of those games? How deep did he go into those games? You know what I mean? Was he
Yeah.
often like leading off with a hit, and it just wasn't that dramatic, or did he go like,
Here
oh
we are on
fuck,
the
man, here
bottom
he
of the
is,
eighth.
0 for 4 in extra innings.
Yeah.
he gets a hit in the 10th or something to
Yeah.
save the streak.
Some guys underhand pitching as
Yeah.
all the players in the outfield lay down and take a nap.
I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I did look up that he had 15 home runs and 55 RBIs during the streak. I've always been, I will say this, even though I don't know much about it, I've always found that streak very fascinating to me because I just don't think it's something, the home run thing I feel like everyone knew would go away at some point. I don't think anybody thought that no one would pass Maris for the home run streak or whoever it was. Who was it? Not Maris, I guess. It was,
You got this.
well, no, I'm not talking total home runs. I'm talking home runs in a year. That still was Maris until he did not. What's his name? Did not, right? Can't think of his name now. The black dude. Can't think of his name.
E,
He
this is your day in history.
I understand that. I don't think this streak will ever be broken. I'm going to go on record. I don't think anyone in the Major League will. Dude,
that is a
So
bold
bold.
statement. I
So
mean, you
bold.
have really gone out on a ledge
I
here.
know.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Before you lay that out there, are you sure you're comfortable saying that?
I would.
You're probably the first person in history I
Ever.
can think of that has said that.
No.
It was an
that-
absolutely incredible streak. Of course it's not going to be broken.
Well, just because the game is so different and how we play it, I don't think people care
I
about
agree.
getting singles.
I've never heard that from anyone before. This is shocking. Are you,
This is really
I mean, I'll give
groundbreaking.
you a chance to back out right now.
Back
E,
out
if you
for
want-
what? I'm not
If
backing
you
out.
want to, I mean, that's just an outrageous claim.
Hot take.
It's a really hot take.
So it ended today. We think it was 56 games. We're not totally sure on that, or we are.
We don't
Well,
know
it was
who
a
it was
56
against,
game
but
hitting streak.
But
for
we don't know
sure.
who it ended against.
we don't know if there were any close calls.
Well,
Because that would have been cool if you said. Lots of people know he had a 56 game hitting streak. Of course, it came to an end against Cleveland on July whatever 1943. What a lot of people don't know is there were 3 scares during that. Once in the 8th inning game, he was 0 for 4 of.
And then another one where he actually went over because he got 3 walks.
Would that count as a
I don't think it would.
a
but
hitting streak? I
I
mean,
don't believe it would, but he would be 0 for 0, you know?
yeah,
And so it would continue as not getting a hit.
yeah.
I don't. You're right. You're right. I guess I don't know those answers. God damn
That's
it.
too bad.
That's too bad. It's right, and I don't feel sorry for
sweating
you,
now.
E, because Jay and I specifically told you last time you did a shit job on this day in history. We said you need to start thinking about what we're going to ask.
It was Cleveland.
Start-
I was right. It was Cleveland.
Guessed.
Yes, but
No,
you said
I'd read
blind
it and I
squirrel.
forgot.
pretty
No, I'd
sure.
read
I
it and
think
forgot.
you can. Dude, you're supposed to be a professor here. You're not. You should be able to go. Good question, Jay. I thought you would ask that. The truth of the matter is X.
I know.
You can think of the
Studying
top
is
2.
hard, okay? I didn't study good in high school, and I don't.
You were given 2 weeks for this. You didn't have
Well-
a day in history last week.
Yeah, but I didn't look at anything until yesterday. like,
And the week before we were on vacation.
You
yeah, but
son
I
of
didn't
a
have
bitch.
time. I wasn't gonna look ahead 3 weeks starting on vacation.
God damn you to hell. You're making my bones hurty.
I think that's a good. I gave some stuff there.
Yeah, we learned today the 56 game streak
No.
ended.
Yeah.
There was no.
Interesting.
literally
It's
all we
almost
learned.
like you just told the world that there was a 56 game streak and that's it.
You know, if
Like,
he'd had
I
one
think
more,
everybody
if
kind
the
of knew
streak,
that.
if the streak had gone one more game, he would have got $10,000 from Heinz 57 as a sponsor thing.
There you go. That's,
See,
that's,
there's a little
That's
factoid.
a little factoid.
That's
yeah.
the type of shit we want to know, E.
Okay, well, there's one thing I gave.
Is there anything else?
Well, I thought the dude. By the way,
hear
you
him
said.
rub his chin?
By the way, you said
Yeah.
you didn't get anything else, dude. I think the fact that the dude that holds the highest hitting streak in the major leagues also had a 61 game hitting streak in the minors is pretty fascinating. So
Yeah,
to
that's
say that there was
pretty good, too.
nothing
I like
else in
that.
All
there.
right, we'll give you those 2.
Okay, that's 2 facts you didn't know about it.
What did Marilyn Monroe think of this?
That's a good question. Probably a lot of dick sucking going on during that.
I gotta tell you, man, that the hitting streak, and I know, aside from E's hot take a moment ago, every sports person I've ever heard, baseball expert, any sports expert at all, has said from as far back as I can remember, this is the one streak that will not be broken. So E is probably the 18,466,946
But I get excited every year.
person to have the hot take he had a moment ago. That being said, I don't know what it is, but when you get 5 chances at bat on a normal day, I don't know why that particular thing, like a 51 game hitting streak or whatever, just never sounded terribly impressive to me. If it was, I know it is. I'm not saying it's not, and I agree that
Hitting
it
a
won't
baseball,
ever be
they
broken.
say, is one of the hardest things to do in sports, dude.
Dude, no shit. That's why it's remarkable that I feel the way I do. Like, for whatever reason, that just has never seemed like, dude, you got 5 chances to get a hit, a little fucking squibbler here. Like, you'd think that it would have been done more. There'd be more people that have gotten close to that or broken that or something. Obviously, it's not, because it hasn't been, but
I get
Yeah, I
so excited when anyone gets to even like 20. I do start to get excited. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's the one. I don't watch a lot of national baseball, but if it scrolls up on my thing and I see that it's like shit, someone's starting to do something, I will start paying attention.
who had the longest streak before he
I
did?
don't know. I'm trying to look it up.
Oh, boy.
I came out with the fact that Ty Cobb had the longest.
Don't
Tiger
tell us what you
streak ever.
did. We don't care
There's
about
clearly a table. Someone on Wikipedia had created a table with
Yeah.
teams and their longest streak, and he simply found Detroit somehow, some way. It was probably alphabetical.
that. Yeah.
No. I went to Wikipedia, obviously, but
Yeah, and there's the table I'm referring to. I'm looking at it right now. See it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to set some parameters going forward? Should we do that off the air, maybe?
High Cobb also had a 35-game hitting streak.
Great. Should we set some parameters? Because I feel like this is going to keep happening.
Yeah, they're clearly we can't just leave him to his own devices.
It needs to be a certain amount, like length. It needs to include at least 10 relevant facts that the average idiot won't know
10
immediately.
Dude, no,
or
I'm not
5,
getting-
whatever. I'm just
That's a lot of
brainstorming, E, but this is bullshit. We just wasted 15 minutes on this horse shit, and you knew less than dick about it.
That's not
You
true.
didn't know shit.
It's not true.
You were supposed to have this day in history for us,
I
and
gave-
you probably and I thinked 90% of it, and then you basically just threw out a couple dumb facts that we wouldn't know.
I did as much work as I would have ever done for
Am I
any
wrong
kind of
about that,
schooling.
Jay?
Not knowing what team ended it was unforgivable.
I gave...
Or the pitcher?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
That's pretty bad. Or when it started against
I said it
who?
was April 15th.
Who was number 2? Who did it pass? Like, dude, these are basic things that you should absolutely be thinking of if you're going to present to the class, professor.
Yeah, I guess there was a few things there.
Yeah, a few.
But only a few. I'm just supposed to bring... I see my job as just bringing awareness to the listeners of something happened, and then they can, on their own,
No,
casually look up
as
these
you would
events
say.
that they-
Look, dude, we need to learn something. And I did learn that he had 61 game streak in the minors. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
So I did come away with something.
Yeah, and like Heinz Ketchup was going to give him like 10 grand or something if he
Imagine
did
one more
day.
hit.
I'm
What's
sort
the
of
present value of that?
What do you mean? Oh, I don't fucking...
Like, how much did he lose in our dollar terms?
yeah, because 10 grand really doesn't sound that impressive, you know.
I know.
I'm sort of willing to cut E a little bit of slack. I know he's dealing with some old man pains.
Oh, no, it
I don't know
happened.
if you're aware of this. He doesn't want his mom to know, so don't say anything to Mrs.
Oh, no,
Fady.
that's-
Is it the rash? The butt rash?
No, you would think that would be one of them, but no, it's not. It's he's having back pain.
It's true.
What happened, dude?
Like he could barely walk, dude.
What happened?
I honestly...
My guess was it's bending over like not an
My
adult.
Back with
honest
TCG?
No. My honest opinion, my honest thing is, even though it's like a week and a half later, I think it probably just took a week and a half to really hit. But my honest thought is that from that vacation, 4 of those nights, I was gone for 8 nights, I guess it was, and 4 of those nights, at one point I slept in the front seat of my car. So I'm wondering at this point in my life
all
at
kinked up.
6'2", and it wasn't like my car
38
was,
years old.
It was packed so much so that I really couldn't even put my car seat back. So I was just like kind of sitting up, sleeping. So I'm wondering if that was like 4 of those nights eventually. I don't know.
What
I
about
kinda
that
sleep on a
beaded,
couch.
that
The problem
beaded
is
seat cover that you bought for your date
have
that
a
one
beaded
time? Why didn't you
seat.
put that on the driver's seat? That would have helped.
Question.
I don't have a beaded seat cover. I have a seat cover. It's just a shitty, cheap one I got from Walmart. My car seat seems to be really the worst place it hurts me now. And the problem is I sleep on a couch a lot of times. I should go to my room, but I don't like sleeping in my room. So I sleep on
This
this
is right
couch in
next
the
to you. You
basement.
share a wall with your parents.
No,
Yeah.
no. But
He doesn't want his mom to know because she might not let him go to wild horses or faster horses.
if she
Wild
were to
horses.
find out that I was like, because if it was like, it'd be like,
Because of some back pain? She
well,
wouldn't let
it'd be
you
like,
go to
well, you're
faster
gonna
horses?
well, it'd be like, are you still hurt? I'd be asked every day, and then if I mildly was like, oh, my back's still a little sore, it'd be like, and you're gonna go to this festival? It's like,
Tell her it's good to sleep on flat, hard surfaces, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to be tented.
right,
Yep.
yeah. Maybe I'll get a wood board for the rest of the week. It's I don't know. It was funny because it was fine on the weekend again. Like I went running on Sunday, I cut the grass, and then I did the show yesterday.
And Forrest Gump, man.
And I came home, and I did the show. And last night I came home and all of a sudden it was just like, oh boy, and
Yeah.
like I had to like when I laid on the couch I had to like.
I should mention, Mike, there's no controversy about the Faster Horses tickets this year. I willingly gave them both up to E.
You did?
That's the kind of guy I am.
Why would you do that?
I couldn't make it.
That's the kind of guy he is.
So you got 2 tickets though?
Got
Yeah,
2 press
I
passes,
do.
yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Unfor-
So
then
when are we
got
going?
the-
E?
If you really want to come,
No.
are you gonna? Okay, I mean, dude,
They
I
were
can-
earmarked for Gab and I, and he appropriately offered them up. You know, if you
Yeah.
want to go Friday or Saturday, let me know, and then I'll get them from you and all that. But we weren't able to. So,
It is with the hot dog
He was a good
contest
boy.
on Sunday too.
yep,
I
Yeah.
will say
it's a packed weekend.
it's a people should come out to see, right? The hot
Absolutely.
dog
22 Mile and Hayes, man. The Hamlin Pub location there, 1 o'clock on July 23rd. Registration's at noon. We'll all be there. Come on out.
Yeah, come on out, have a couple beers maybe, and some hot dogs, and watch Big E in the hot dog eating contest.
Big E.
Hot dog insertion contest.
I'd like to be
The Big E, excuse me, you're right, E. Hey, did you guys hear about that flood that killed like a bunch of people in Arizona?
Crazy flash flood. Yeah, just a bunch
Dude.
of swimmers, right?
Yeah, yep.
It's just your time, dude. You know, you're
Yeah.
just sitting there in a lake or kind of rivery, tributary.
Like a
what,
little
What are we
ri-
talking?
Tributary?
Yeah.
What's a tributary?
Look it up.
Yeah, like a little creek bed that
Right.
comes down the mountain, that kind of thing.
You pull up
But,
tributary.
real quick, by the way, it looks like if this calculator is right, I mean, this is just some saving.org, but it says inflation results $10,000 amount from 1942 to 2017. It says that would be 155,000, or what is that?
I was going to say $100,000.
Yeah.
$155,762.
Okay. So you lost 155K. Yeah. That sucks.
Isn't that weird that I did a 10,000? I don't know. It seems crazy to me.
So anyway, back to Arizona. Adults, and what's the word he's supposed to look up?
Tributary.
Tributary.
This will take him a half hour.
Yeah, look up tributary. Adults, teens, and children as young as 2 were enjoying a little summer afternoon, cooling off in an Arizona creek.
And who can blame him?
Yeah.
It's probably 150 degrees there.
Exactly. The group of 14 were from Phoenix, Flagstaff area. They were up for a day trip to this popular swimming hole. And, all right, hold on.
They're in a fucking tributary.
Were they? It's a river or stream flowing into a larger river or lake. Good call. I like that word. Yeah. So anyway, these guys are in this tributary, hanging out, and this storm unleashed a 6-foot-high floodwaters, dark with ash from a summer wildfire, onto unsuspecting families and friends. It's monsoon season there.
My God, man.
Yeah.
Just enjoying splashing around the tributary, and here comes this big rush of water.
Huge. Carrying sticks and ash and trees.
Just
and
sweeps them away.
everything in. Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if have you been to Arizona? I know your sister's there.
Yeah, I've driven through and stopped here and there, but I've not spent a lot of time there.
I remember I was visiting G there years ago when he first moved there, and he was in this apartment, and they actually had grass in the common area, which is just not that common
Yeah.
in Arizona. It's easier to do rock bed type
Ironically.
shit. Yeah, and so he had grass there, and it like sprinkled one day as we were going out. I don't know, going golfing or something, and it starts raining just like you wouldn't even think about it if it was here. It's just a light rain, and within an instant, like the water's just rising up and starts like flooding onto the everywhere around. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck's going on here, man? And he's like, yeah, it's so dry here that the water doesn't even seep. It's like rock underneath it, so it doesn't have anywhere to go. And so that's how it happens in an instant, where it's like, and so basically what they're saying is you've got these mountains, and then these little tributaries
Right.
that break off them, and these little creeks, and people, oh, this is so refreshing. And they go in there. Well, if they were paying close attention, they could see off in the distance the dark clouds and the thunderstorms going on up there. Within 10 minutes, that shit is raging
Wow,
down the
man.
mountain at them and taking them down to Chinatown.
And how many are missing at this point? You say
9 are
14?
dead.
9 are dead. Wow.
9 dead. 14 were trapped up in it, yeah. Some search and rescue teams, this is amazing, were already near the swimming hole after getting a call to help someone who had suffered a bad allergic reaction. So they're like right there and able to jump in and help. Thank God there was like one guy they saved holding his baby while like clinging to a tree, and another woman. It was like they got saved because of this. But yeah, it's amazing. So, but yeah, looking to beat the heats in Arizona. They're trying to come up with ways like how do we not let them like get word to people that you can't do this during monsoon season. It comes upon them so fast. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on to other things. It sounds like there's some question as to whether or not ISIS's leader al-Baghdadi has actually been killed.
Yeah. I think it's always going to be a gray area, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. They just don't have solid record keeping throughout Raqqa, Syria, that whole area. And I don't know. I was always kind of skeptical of this when ISIS started reporting that it was true. But there are some people there. One guy in particular, a top Kurdish counterterrorism official who's named Lahur Talabani. He says he's 99% sure that Baghdadi has not been killed, and he is still alive in the group's de facto capital of Raqqa. Don't forget, his roots go back to Al Qaeda days in Iraq. He was hiding from he was hiding from security services. He knows what he's doing. He also warned that despite the recent setbacks and loss of territory for ISIS, they're preparing for a different kind of fight and will soon be an Al Qaeda on steroids. So something to look forward to for the rest of us. We saw why they were smarter. Al Qaeda never controlled any territory. They will be smarter. But yeah, these guys think he's not dead now. I don't think that even matters. You know, someone else will just step up and
right. Fill the vacuum.
Yeah. So I just want to report that good news that
He might still be around.
al-Baghdadi might still be alive. So we lost Martin Landau this weekend?
I did, yeah, and I had to ask myself, like, shit, who's Martin Landau again? Of course, everybody knows the name. Of course, he's been in 200 movies, but
why
for
do we
the
all
life
know
of me,
the name?
I couldn't picture him. I was like, fuck.
I couldn't really either, and it was like usually when one of these people dies, it's like the top story all day, and it was literally like halfway down the news stories. It was like, really, Martin Landau dies? I would think that's like he's before our time for sure, but you would think that would be big news. I was like, is this not even like reportable that Martin Landau died?
I mean, how many of these guys do we have? We have a bunch of Martin Landaus, don't we? Like, is he that remarkable? What do we got as far as his biggest?
Mission Impossible, the TV series.
Yeah,
He was kind of typecast for that. He was in some shit E loves, the X-Files.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. He was in the X-Files. I forgot about.
I know.
That.
I wouldn't lie to you about
That's
that.
where I recognize him from.
He played. Do you remember who he played?
Fuck.
Alvin Kurtzwell.
I know he was on the
means
bad guy,
nothing
right?
to
I
him.
know he was with the. He was against Mulder and Scully.
Tell me a
sure
big
of that,
movie he's
but I
been
don't
in.
know.
Give me a big movie.
Okay. Ed Wood.
Okay.
He played. Was it Bela Lugosi?
Yeah.
In that.
Okay.
Do you remember watching that? Mission Impossible, the TV series. In 1955, he was among hundreds who applied to study at the prestigious Actors Studio. They only took 2 actors. One was Martin Landau, the other, Steve McQueen.
Not Chris. Chris McQueen.
Chris McQueen.
But
No.
Steve
McQueen. He rose to fame when he was plucked off Broadway by Alfred Hitchcock to play a homosexual killer in Hitchcock's 1959 classic North by Northwest.
I like how you said that. A homosexual killer.
Well,
You ever seen North by Northwest?
no.
There's a Mount Rushmore scene in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I had to watch that in that history of film and documentary class I took at State.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, no way would I have been watching North by Northwest. And I don't remember the guy being a homo.
Well, I don't. Here's where punctuation is key. And I was hoping you could tell me, Jay, what this says. He was plucked off Broadway to play a homosexual killer in Hitchcock's 59 classic North by Northwest. So is he playing a homosexual who kills people, or is he a killer of homosexuals?
Oh, wow, a homosexual killer.
There's no commas in any of that.
I think he was a homo killer.
To play
In other words, he was getting dicks rammed up his ass, and he was a killer. That's my take
Wait,
on that.
do you think it was both? That he was a homosexual and a murderer?
Yes.
Well, he played a homosexual killer. I don't know, dude. He played a master of disguise in Mission Impossible, which I've said 5 times now. You know what? He was offered the role of and turned down. Think back to those times. He was offered the role of Spock.
I love stories like that. Who was offered what? and
Yeah, I
turned
know.
down. That's awesome.
Star Trek
Yeah, I
creator.
could see him as Spock.
Yeah. Gene Roddenberry had offered him the role, but he says Landau turned it down. A character without emotions would have driven me crazy. I would have had to be lobotomized. Instead, he chose Mission Impossible. The funeral services will be private, followed by a memorial service in August or September. Now, the role that I know Martin Landau for, and E will know Martin Landau for, I don't think you watched this show, Jay, but Entourage.
I was about to say, I see from his IMDb, he was in Entourage for a couple years.
Do you remember him in Entourage, E?
Not off the top of my head, honestly, I don't.
He played Bob Ryan, who was like, is that something you might be interested in learning a little bit more about?
Oh yes, dude. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
You know,
I
when
do.
he'd have these like amazing scripts, and people were
Yes.
like, "Wow, you've got a Ramones bio biopic that we could do?
Yes.
And he'd always be like, is that something that you might be interested in hearing a little bit more about? But anytime anyone would get in the room with him, he would make you stay forever because he was lonely. He's living in this fucking like huge mansion in Hollywood, and he'd
So that was his
talk your
character
ear
over
off.
and over. He'd do that.
Yeah, but then it turns out he did have some pull, but it drove people nuts that he would keep you all day and want to just talk, and it's like, okay, so how about that? Can we get that script now?
Dude, he was in a lot of TV and movies.
200 of them.
Bonanza, The Rifleman, The Untouchables.
Yep, didn't watch any of that
Yeah, I
stuff.
know. Cleopatra, but, some really classic 60s shit. Yeah, he went back a long way, man. He did a lot.
Anything
It's on The
we would
Simpsons,
know.
I know. I actually remember that episode.
But yeah, there's nothing that like jumps out at me as like, boom, the seminal role, right?
Yeah.
I guess Mission Impossible is.
Boy, that's going back a
I
long
know.
way.
I
I guess he was
Funny though.
typecast after that show. They said, and he had trouble getting other roles until the Hitchcock one.
Everybody knows the name. Everybody knows the face when you see it. Like I said, I wasn't able to connect the two last night when I heard the news, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's been in a lot of shit.
The thing about that, the reality is though, like we sit here and like say like, oh, was he not in this? He didn't have that one role, but like you said, you look at that page and, dude, I mean, he worked on
He had a fine career.
right. Like the reality is whatever though, dude. I mean, he was on Entourage. He had several voice things. X
Hey
Files.
man, if you have one voice thing, you've made it in my book.
Right.
That's
I agree.
The holy grail.
well, especially nowadays, but
Nowadays, you are right.
Nowadays.
You mean on anything or The Simpsons?
Oh, to me, on anything, any of the movies that are out or TV shows, you got a
Yeah.
voice role. Fuck, that's living.
Yeah. I would
Hey,
agree.
Zott Ford and Holly makes buying and leasing your next new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV incredibly fun and easy. Yes, they have a foosball table. Yes, they have fresh movie-style popcorn. And, of course, they have the hottest sales staff in Oakland County. Plus, if you accidentally leased your current vehicle from another dealership, Zott Ford will happily return that vehicle for you. No need to deal with that old boring-ass dealership. Zott Ford has you handled. Peep their irresistible deals and massive inventory at dealsandthed.com.
Hey, have you followed the last couple days with Ann Coulter?
Yeah, the Twitter war with Delta.
Yeah, Delta Airlines.
Yeah. It seems kind of petty to me. Am I missing something? But
No.
she got moved, and she was mad because she had reserved the seat, which I can understand.
Yeah.
But it got kind of stupid, I think.
Well, she spent like 2 hours on Saturday, like just reaming, Delta out at Delta, and
Is that just thinking like easy target? Everybody wants to hit airlines right now.
I don't think she would
United.
care about that.
But it wasn't that big of a deal then. Why was she?
I think she was pissed.
what happened exactly?
She's sitting in her seat, and they come up and they say, "Hi, Mrs. Coulter, can we see your ticket? We're gonna have to move you really quick." And she's like, "Excuse me,
Did she have to go from like first class to back, or was it like
I think
aisle
she bought a seat with extra leg room, and she's a stork, man. She
She
looks-
absolutely is a stork. She has an extra joint on her wrist. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
It's strange.
She's
was
crane-like. She's somewhere between a crane and a stork.
Very much. She was in an exit aisle. She bought an exit aisle seat.
Okay.
And I think she paid $30 more to have that
Right.
that assigned.
Yep.
And then she was pissed when I guess other people asked to be reassigned, and she got shuffled over to a non-exit aisle.
Why would it happen? I guess, but
Yeah, I can see
mean,
being pissed. I can
hell
see if
yes.
you've got 5 billion Twitter followers, maybe you say something, but it just
Well,
seems
she
pretty
was
petty.
She was at it again last night, and the news report stopped reporting. They probably had to go to print, but at like 2 a.m, it was still going on. And she's and I love Ann Coulter. I know she's a very polarizing figure. I like the way she comes with, like, she's researched. That's what I love about Ann Coulter. She's very researched. Well, you can hate her opinion. I understand why people would. She certainly is a fireball,
Very smart.
very smart. And but yeah, so she gets pissed off, and then she starts taking pictures of the Delta employee and of the girl who got her seat, which is like a younger girl.
She called her dachshund-legged. Dachshund-legged.
Yes, which I thought was funny as shit. And of course, the people that are responding, so many people hate Ann Coulter because of her ultra-conservative views and blunt way of speaking.
Yeah.
That they just attack her no matter what happens to her. Like when she dies, it will just be like, "Ha ha, the witch is dead." Like
Right,
people will
right.
not even, they just won't care. But yeah, there was a lot of that. I saw one guy was like, all he wrote was, "Broom in the shop."
That's pretty good.
But yeah, dude, I agree with you though. It's like this seems like
why does, it does seem though like airlines get away with this weird thing. They just kind of have their own rules in a way that they can just like. She paid money. You pay for a seat
in advance.
What is the reasoning?
And they said they'd happily refund the $30.
Oh, would you?
Like throwing it in her
I don't
face.
give a fuck. Mike makes it. Dude, for real, that's right though. Dude. I'm tall, just like you do, Jay. You're tall. Like I end up a lot of times. I will pay an extra, a little extra money to get like at least even an aisle so I can stretch my one leg out. And if they just came up to me all of a sudden and said, "Oh yeah, we'll give you the $30 back," but now you're in the middle of some
it's like, well, what use is allowing people to reserve seats then?
Why did this? What was this with this other person?
I think that they'll say that there are certain times when, a death in a family happens, and all of a sudden someone needs an emergency to go somewhere, and in that case they'll take a flight that's booked and they'll do everything they can to make special accommodations. But I don't know why that has to do with moving her specifically. Yeah. I mean, I would think you would look at her and she's what, 8'6", and you would look at her and go, okay, of all the people in this row, that's the one we can't move. Obviously, she's 8'6", and so
it looked to me from the picture that she snapped as she was walking by the aisle of the dachshund leg chick and the other two people.
Yeah,
it looked like they were family members. There's
probably
two kids and a dad sitting there.
Well, I just think as long as they should explain it at least. It just this idea, and it sounds like they only were going to give the $30 back when she was complaining.
Well, do you think if the climate was not what it is in terms of having United just gone through that she would have made a stink like this? I think she's taking advantage of that.
Of course.
Everybody hates the airlines right now, so I'll whack them.
Yeah, maybe.
But you're exactly right. She doesn't need to. She has enough conflict in her life and enough followers. It's not like she needs press.
Yeah.
So it must have just genuinely been pissed about it. But come on, Ann, perspective.
Call it the worst airline in America? I don't know. I don't think she's flown probably Frontier or Spirit in the past anytime soon.
I could be totally wrong on this, and people might think I'm nuts, but she doesn't strike me as the person who's going to go for the cheap pile-on moment. Now, are you kidding with all the shit she says about race and blah, blah, blah? Like, I get it, but she doesn't strike me as that, the in thing to do is ream out the airlines. I think she legitimately had a moment and got fucking pissed. And then when Delta started doing snarky shit a day later going, well, and we understand you're frustrated. We'll be sure to refund your $30.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is like, you're bitching over $30, and you cheap cunt. And it's like, you motherfuckers know this had nothing to do with $30. I don't give a shit about the $30.
Yeah, but I don't think she even thinks the window is open for this bitch if not for the prior criticism of the airlines. What? I mean, we're just speculating, but it seems out of character for her to get kind of that petty about a $30 issue and keep going with it and not let it go.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I know. Anyway, let's take a quick break, Jay, and then I'll allow you to take a knee if you'd like. I've got an update on the woman walking home from church and the five guys in Queens.
Oh, the gratuitous story that you brought into the fold maybe Thursday in order to look like you weren't misogynistic. Was that right?
Wait,
you wanted to show your love for women. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
You distinctly remember. Yeah. You threw the story I got to get to this one.
Yeah, it was right at the end.
It was like run-of-the-mill gang rape. Sorry. It is. I mean, there was nothing more remarkable
you think
than
of gang rape as run of the mill.
Dude, it was textbook, and it happens every day. Not saying it's right. It's awful, but you brought it up like it was like this big breaking news story, and he pointed out
we had done some story that day too, where you were really harsh and not hammering on women about something, and there was a speculation.
I was pro woman or anti-woman.
Anti-woman.
So anti-woman earlier in the day. So there was speculation amongst the Detroit cast here whether there was some ulterior motive for bringing that story up.
Just telling it to say how bad it was.
How
hurt you were.
Well,
was it for the female you were? Of course you were, Mike. She was gang raped.
I know,
Everybody's
but
for the female.
I don't feel like that's a run of the mill story. I don't know where
you guys. Run of the mill story. It was a classic gang rape.
Yeah, but
what was amazing about that?
She
like
was
what
leaving
set
church,
that apart?
Man.
Yeah, I mean, some poor lady who's gang raped is leaving somewhere. Right?
They're always leaving
somewhere.
Always leaving somewhere. Where are they leaving that you'd be like, well, I could see a gang rape happening here.
Right.
I'm not saying...
She's leaving a movie theater, and I can't believe it.
I'm not saying it would have been any better if she was moving a movie theater, but it hit a different nerve. And
what was it about this story that made you pull up, Mike? Be honest.
Well, the salaciousness of it, probably. And...
No. You see a gang rape every day as you scroll the internet.
I do.
You see a gang rape story every day. If you wanted to, you could pull one.
Yeah, maybe.
But for some reason, you pulled this one, and then you presented it. It didn't remain in that pile of undone stories. that gang rapes and so forth usually sit in.
Probably a lot of Whitaker. We never got to Whitaker or Turksey.
Everybody knows Whitaker by now.
It's an old story. Well, I'm still going to read you the update on it since I already laid it out there for the class last week.
All right.
And Elon Musk, and then we've got to get to those videos, Jay, that we were watching over the weekend. Terry, God, Lord, no, Terry. We'll do that more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
We all know to look up, locate, step to the side if a tree is falling. But what if the tree falls on your home or car? In this scenario, you better hope that you have the best insurance coverage you can get. That's why you need to call Brent Wasick, insurance agent of the Detroit Cast. He will find you the best coverage for your home, auto, commercial, business, or life insurance at an unbelievable price. Call him today at 734-455-1900 for your free no-obligation quote. Nobody can do what he can do.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right. Back to the Detroit Cast. I know that says, because it says it right here on my
Pinch pot.
pinch pot. What the hell's a pinch pot, Jay?
Another piece of kid art. That little sweet pie just keeps giving us kid art.
Nice. This is
It's
getting
all
pretty
over the
good.
studio.
She already writes way better than E does.
Yeah.
She carved the Detroit Cast into it. Ooh, that's beautiful.
Keep it forever.
Presented in a nice box. To the Detroit Cast from Sweet Pie. I love it. Love it. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Mike, I was just perusing the local papers, and I see that the Detroit Red Wings have unveiled what their center-hung scoreboard will look like at Little Caesars
Really?
Arena. You seen that son of a bitch?
I have not.
5,100 square feet.
Pull it over, E, so we can all see it.
Dude, this thing is so fucking big. And I think it looks bigger to me when it's not lit, when it's in the example where it doesn't have a fucking picture on it. I mean, look at that thing.
Wow. Wow, yeah, I'm looking at it on the screen here. Jeez.
Is it too big, Mike?
I don't know. We'll have to see it when it's up and...
Seamless, though, the world's largest seamless center-hung scoreboard system.
Seamless, what does that mean?
Well, there's no seams. See that? How there's no
But
seams?
I would say that's a seam.
It lacks seams.
I would say that it doesn't lack
Dude, that's a
seam.
corner.
What's a corner that, well, appears to be seamless, but it's showing... Whatever, I'm not going to argue about it.
It's beauty.
Yeah,
It's
it
beauty.
is. It is. So will this stuff be going on underneath, too?
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like it.
Wow.
For the people that are in the lower seats.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Is
do
that
that-
really necessary? This whole I get why you have the lower seat look for it, but is the size of this thing necessary? Maybe in a football stadium, you understand how the hugeness of you're wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt right now. It reminds me of
Yeah.
the Dallas stadium. It's just that sick
Yeah.
freaking scoreboard they have. But
you
in
got
a hockey-sized
90,000
arena-
fans there,
right?
You know?
In a hockey-sized arena, like I don't know, seems like a bit of
But
overkill.
what
But
are they not going to do?
right,
Not-
you're
you
building
knew
a
that-
new arena. You're going to put in the biggest and best, right?
Yeah. Yep. We'll see if it's too big. The problem in Dallas was you could hit that scoreboard if you with a punt that was too big
Right.
or something like that. That's cool. That's cool though.
Did you hear about the blowback from the painting of the Little Caesars logo on the roof?
No.
Yeah, and the initial artist renderings of the arena, it had a nice Red Wing logo.
Yeah.
And so everybody's expectation, oh, that's badass. It's going to be lit up like that, just like in the rendering. And no, it's just white, and they're painting that big freaking Caesar guy.
Pizza.
Yeah, holding this spear with a piece of pizza on the end.
I disagree.
I think it looks all right. I mean,
Well, I heard someone
it's
point
just
out.
expectation, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing did look cool, but I did hear someone point out, like, in a way, like, one, they own the arena, obviously, so they can put an advertisement on there if they want to. But Little Caesars is not a national thing, right? Or I guess it is.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Isis?
Okay, well, whatever. My point would be is that
It's
like
definitely smaller throughout the
it's,
country.
it's a
than-
Michigan kind of pride thing. They're going to show this stadium on national events and stuff, and I don't know. You're getting some. It's kind
Does
of
your
like
point
some Michigan
change at all
love.
now, knowing that it's a national brand?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's a Michigan thing.
loses some
It'd be like if
steam.
it's fake.
It lost some
Lost
wind.
a
And
lot
that
of
sale
steam.
lost a ton
Yeah.
of wind.
I don't feel that. I don't
It
feel
just
that.
died all at once. You know what I mean? Because he had a great argument.
it's
at
a
point. like,
local thing. We want to celebrate that. Well, if it's
No,
not
no, no.
local,
I mean,
you just got a thing you
no,
want to
no, it
celebrate.
doesn't. You know what? It doesn't. In fact, it enhances it because actually now the nation can see
Yeah,
what
they
this
should have
whole
seen the Little Caesars
but,
logo
but
all
not as
over.
big. Not it's not fucking Domino's or oh, shit. Domino's is a fucking Michigan thing.
It's certainly not Big Boy E.
How Hungry Howie's? What's a national fucking pizza chain?
Pizza
Another
Hut.
one? You've named a couple.
Well, I can't believe I went to Down.
I don't know. I just kind of hate all of these. I know this is a hot take moment, gentlemen, but I just hate all. I feel like there's so much money being generated, and I'm not a fan of.
More money being generated?
Yeah, but the rich
Stop,
keep getting
big corporate
richer.
America.
No, it's just
I know. It's-
I like Mile High Stadium.
Toothpaste is out of the tube, though. It's
Not-
never going back.
Sports Authority Stadium,
Yeah.
whatever.
Jacobs
It's like-
Field versus whatever it is.
yeah. I'm a big fan of that. It is what it is. But
Although the funny thing is people.
Levi Stadium,
Wrigley. You know what though?
Candlestick Park has a ring. You know what I mean?
But Wrigley Field is not like I think some that's a sponsored thing, and that was way back till whenever it was been since it's been Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
That was sponsored, and it wasn't just like the
Wasn't
family
it? Wrigley.
name?
Well, that's what I meant though. But it's the family.
I don't know. I don't know the history of Wrigley,
I guess I
so
don't
I'm not gonna dog you on this or not dog you. My guess is
maybe
it's
it
not
wasn't
it's
Wrigley,
not a
it wasn't
corporation,
Wrigley.
but rather it was like the family ownership or something.
Maybe
Yeah.
so, but maybe that's true.
Is it like the Wrigley Gum family?
That's what I assumed it was, wasn't it?
You've always thought of Wrigley Gum as connected to Wrigley Field. I don't know that that's not
Yeah,
true.
I guess I
I
have.
don't either.
I've never made that connection.
I
Me
guess
either.
I have. It's not.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe you're right. Both
Yeah.
of us don't have any idea. We can't combat this, but
Is Wrigley
it's
Field
certainly
named
nothing
after
I've ever
Gum?
thought of.
I don't know. I just typed in "Is Wrigley Field named after Wrigley Gum?" And I didn't even read it yet, but this is what it says.
Oh, Jesus.
This show is going down in a death spiral at the moment.
The park became known as Cubs Park in 1920 after the Wrigley family purchased the team. It was named Wrigley Field in 1926 in honor of William Wrigley Jr.,
So that's
the
it.
club's owner.
They don't have nothing to do with the gum, huh?
I don't know. I haven't looked into the Wrigley, family and what they did thereafter.
Literally what I always assumed.
Okay.
No.
Look into that
Listen
after
to
the
when
show.
Wrigley Gum was started, too. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to look it up. I don't care.
I do want to know myself.
So I mentioned before the break, and I was piled on for, taking advantage of the salacious rape story.
Yeah, in order to show your support for a woman.
Yeah. Well, I've got an update on it. They have caught the guys involved, and a 20-year-old man was one of the ones. We talked about this last week. These guys grabbed this girl leaving church.
Hold on.
What?
Chewing gum magnate William Wrigley Jr. of the Wrigley Company acquired the complete control of Cubs in 1921. We're all right. It was named after the owner, but the owner is, in fact, the Wrigley Gum guy.
Yeah, he had to be someone. You can't just buy a team without being someone. It makes sense, but it's not like they put the Spearmint logo all over everything.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
it's just his name.
You're right.
So anyway, going back to this, he's one of the ones accused of taking part in this horrifying oral sex attack on a New York City churchgoer, and he wept in jail as he's insisted it was a 17-year-old boy who led the sickening assault. So this 20-year-old is like, it wasn't me. The 17-year-old was the ringleader. Seems odd. Brandon Walker is facing charges along with 17-year-old Justin Williams and Julyssus Janelle.
Fuck yes.
19-year-old Julyssus Janelle. The 50-year-old victim was walking home from Celestial Church of Christ in Queens when she was pushed behind a dumpster and forced to perform oral sex on the kids. Walker talked to the New York Post and said he did not participate in the attack and that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all. It's a horrible situation I'm in here. People in here threaten me because they see the news. They're all out to get me for something I never did. Just wrong place, wrong time. He claims Williams was the one who led the assault and that he watched in horror.
Wait, this is
As it
Ulysses
unfold-
S. Grant saying this?
Yes. No. This is Brandon Walker saying this about...
What did Ulysses S. Grant do?
Ulysses S. Grant gets involved later in the story. He says, I was telling him to stop it. I was walking way behind them. I was having a cigarette.
I did get my dick sucked, but
And I was telling them to stop it. I kept telling him to stop. He just went too far.
so is he saying he didn't get his dick sucked?
That's what he's claiming.
Ulysses?
He went crazy that night and didn't take his meds. On Saturday, Williams told the Post in a separate interview, and this is Justin Williams, the 17-year-old, that while he went first, it was Walker who forced the one that's crying in jail. It was him that forced the victim to take her clothes off. He said Walker ejaculated on her, and that after he was finished, a fourth man, Isaiah, forced her to perform oral sex on him too. The men were all seen in grainy surveillance footage appearing to hone in on the woman as she struggled to walk along the sidewalk with heavy handbags. So they just saw the wounded gazelle. That's all. Ulysses told police that he was present at the beginning and the end of the incident, but he did not partake in the blowjobs and returned after going to fetch some jimmies. He went to get some jimmies,
I remember that fact, yeah.
which he said he retrieved to help my boys.
Yeah, well, she said that she had HIV, so he was...
Yes. So he wanted to go get the jimmies for his boys. And when he returned, number 4 in line was just finishing up. And so he didn't take place at all in getting the beegers. The prosecutor is calling for all 4 men to face severe punishments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walker's insisting he's innocent. He's determined to clear his name for the sake of his newborn daughter.
It's a good start.
That's just going to work out so well in the long run for a teenager. Yeah. I don't want my daughter to grow up without a father. I don't want to see her by looking through a glass. I'm in here for something I didn't even do. The men, by the way, met through the homeless youth shelter. So this is a homeless youth with a daughter who's out procuring BJs in a rape fashion on the streets of Queens. Woo! It was the staff at that center, actually, who turned them in. It was like, I think these might be the guys you're looking for. The men claimed they were going to carry out robberies. It was simply, we were out robbing people.
We didn't rape nobody.
We didn't mean, we got a little carried away with the rape thing, but we intended to go rob people with fake guns so they'd give us money.
We weren't robbing and raping. We were just robbing.
With fake guns. They're also accused of holding up 2 men that night after the assault and robbing them as well. So they weren't done on their little spree. Are those like ones? I just look at stuff like that and I go, yeah, there's no.
Just a pack of wolves, man.
Yeah, there's no. Maybe it's their fault, maybe it's not their fault, but you know what? At some point, you just got to delete some people. Like there's no coming back from that. There's just not. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong about that?
Man, it's a tough one. Mark Leibovitz, our buddy.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mark Leibovitz has 16 years of institutional investment experience, including being a senior portfolio manager on a mutual fund. That is big shit, Isis. No, you're looking at me, your eyes are glazed over. You have no idea what that means. It's big shit. He's big time. You can trust him. His background's in investments, not sales. Let him use his experience to build an investment plan for you. He's done it for both Mike and I.
Yep.
He's done it for many of our listeners, and everybody reports back that Merck is easy and great to work with. Call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial at 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark. I believe Merck will be at the hot dog eating contest.
Is he
on
participating?
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
I said, dude, I know you probably couldn't put away more than a dog and a half, but definitely come. And he was like, yeah, have you seen me lately? I can put away more than a dog and a half, dude. So I don't know if he's going to partake.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Merck went in there and just like own the thing.
No, I would be shocked. He used to eat like a bird. Remember that?
Yes, I
that
do.
That little son of a bitch would peck at stuff, and it's like, dude, you gonna eat that or what?
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Merck is surprisingly unopposing on every level.
Yeah, but eating.
And then he's dominant at things. Mark is a very good athlete. He
is.
Like surprisingly so. And so it wouldn't surprise me if you went up there and you're like, that son of a bitch. Yeah, of course you wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah.
He just put down 46 hot dogs in 5 minutes.
Sandbagging
Unbelievable.
it without using the anus.
Yeah.
So there's E just shoving dogs up his butt, and Merck's
just keeping pace. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me. Well, that'll be good to see him out there.
Yeah. Kyle Mayer will be there as well.
Really? Yeah. Is Kyle going to participate?
I don't know. He didn't say.
He's surprisingly unassuming, that Kyle Mayer.
He is indeed.
I could see him putting down a lot of dogs.
Our sponsors all roll in, and
Gabara will be there.
Yeah.
He's surprisingly unassuming, that Gabara.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got how far into summer are we now?
Oh, dude, we're on the downslope now.
I know, by far. That's
Yeah.
it's so
no
sad.
offense to our Asian audience.
The
Sorry.
days are shorter. It's getting
sad.
depressing. It is. It feels like it just got here, man.
I
You
know.
can't leave.
Summer is bullshit. We need to. I don't know when they what it would take to change the calendar and change when we decide that summer is.
Hold on, E. Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Okay, make your argument.
When you're in this area of the country or of the world, whatever, and we all sit here and summer is June, July, and August, and fucking summer comes and it's like June 20th. And then by then, dude, into July, into August, the days are already shorter and the summer
it's the
is
fucking
gone.
tilt of the earth and rotation.
Well, let's just make it then. Let's make July where June is. Let's push everything back.
the fuck are you talking
He's
about?
got a good point. We should put July where June is, because then it would make a lot more sense.
No, because then June would be. We just push everything.
E, if you want hotter weather, you're gonna have to go south.
I was going to say, why don't you just move to Florida, or California,
Are
or
you serious?
Arizona? There's a whole the country. There's probably
Did he just
30
suggest,
states,
did
20
he just
states.
suggest that we rename June July and therefore summer will be longer?
Yeah.
Well, no. We'll just move everything back. We'll just move everything back.
You don't see the folly in that?
Well,
So it's really important to you that it's declared summer. Because that's really what your
He
bitch
knows
is
he's
about.
fucking deep. Look at him. He knows. Even E knows.
No, because
Why don't you, when they declare that summer is officially June 20th, which I've never given a shit about, it's like, oh, today's the first day of
the
summer.
longest
The
day.
vernal equinox.
Yeah, my
longest-
summer started in May 20th this year, so
I understand,
whatever.
but it's not warm then. The longest day of the year in Michigan should be middle of July, so then it's equal to the. Because then the summer will be peaking to July.
And the show has officially hit the ground. We've met the ground today.
Well, when you're a kid, you're always told summer is June, July, and August. But summer, the longest day.
You're basing that on grade school, E.
God damn you to hell. God damn you to hell.
Like
We all
most
sit
of
here-
us got out of grade school and when summer vacation is.
But we all sit here in the winter, and it's dark at 5 p.m., and it builds up and builds up, and it peaks in the middle of June. It should
What
peak
exactly are you saying? You just want it to be warmer and
in
lighter
the,
out more?
I want the peak. The peak of how long the day is to be the middle of July.
What do you got there, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you guys if you worked
Fuck
on
me.
your summer bucket lists.
You know what? We're ticking things off. Yeah. You
Are
know?
we?
Yeah, we've got a family thing going, and
Oh, do
sweet
you?
pie specifically. Yeah.
Nice. What does she have on there?
Things like the tree fort and going to the west side, and
I didn't know
having a
people did
sleepover.
that.
Yeah.
Bucket list. E, do you have a summer bucket list?
I guess, I don't know, not specifically to summer, but I will say this year when I did my solo camping on the west side, that's something I've been wanting to do for like 3 or 4 years now. Like just to go camping by myself by some sand dunes. So I guess that's something.
Yeah. There's a girl that's causing quite a stir on social media as she
heard
was
this, yeah.
she was changing clothes in an Urban Outfitters, and her summer bucket list 2017 fell out of her pocket, and so another shopper picked it up and was like,
Oh, is it like
hilarious.
some blowjobs? How old is this girl?
She's like 17.
Okay, that could be on there then.
So it was her summer bucket list for 2017, and they posted it online, and people are losing their shit over this bucket list.
Like what this girl wanted to
Just how
accomplish this
absurd.
year.
Well, how long it is, first off. She's got quite a few things on her bucket list, and they're all over the map, and people are having fun with it. I'll read you some of the things. Again, we don't know her name, but stage a concert.
Oh,
She wants to stage a
Okay.
concert. Good luck with that one.
She knows about the fire festival, right? I mean, this can be challenging.
Yeah, very, very good point. What? Go to Kennywood? Is that a...
that's like an amusement park, right? Isn't
in
that
Pennsylvania or something?
I don't know where. I thought it was going to Tennessee or something, but I don't
No,
know.
you're thinking Dollywood,
Okay.
formerly Silver Dollar City.
Yes. She wants to go on a road trip, camp in a backyard,
Okay, this all seems somewhat reasonable.
binge a new Netflix series.
Okay.
Very reasonable. Let's see here. Randyland.
You're right. It was in Pennsylvania, by the way.
What's Randyland?
I'm assuming it's another amusement park
Okay.
of sorts. Go on a picnic. So far, these are very, very
Yeah.
reasonable.
Other than the concert, actually, they are.
Staging a concert, yeah.
She wants to go to the Point. I don't know which point that is. Point Peely, perhaps. Go to the beach. She wants to go to a drive-in movie. She also wants to pet a giraffe.
Okay,
actually
now
really
she's
awesome.
getting silly.
She wants to go
Not a
ape.
giraffe.
Yeah, that's true. They
'Cause you
have
can
all
feed
those
a giraffe. You
observation decks now. where
Right. You can pay extra to feed the giraffe.
Yeah,
She wants to go ape. I don't know what that means. Does that just mean like get crazy?
I reckon.
Yeah. She also wants to go to a party.
What is this, easeless? Like, who would put that on there? Go to a party. I mean,
She wants
It
to.
just happens. So yeah.
She wants to get drunk all the time.
It says get drunk all the time.
Get drunk all the time.
So while she's doing these other things,
Yeah. She wants to get crossfaded 17 times, which is excellent. I'm with her there. Which is when you get drunk and high at the same time.
Okay, I didn't know what
So
that
she wants to
was.
get crossfaded 17
so
times.
she wants to get drunk all the time, but out of all the time, only 17 of those times she wants to do weed.
Yeah, or
you
something.
think 17. What?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a bucket list, man. It's Target.
She's 17 years old. Maybe one for each year.
There you go. She wants to go to Flagstaff drunk. So maybe she's in the Arizona area. She wants to go to Flagstaff drunk. Super wild birthday. Giant. She wants to have a giant water balloon fight. She wants to have an artsy 4th of July.
I hope that went well.
She also wants to have sex.
Okay, she writes that down.
She
Have
wants
sex.
She wants to give 2, not 1, not 3, but 2 blowjobs.
Ooh. I'm sure that could be attained pretty easily.
She wants to hook up with Jacob again.
Okay.
Lucky Jacob. She wants to get a boob hickey. That's not bad. She wants to, for her personal list, she's got 8 hoe pics for Instagram.
It's our youth, gentlemen.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
She wants to do some summer reading, get a petty Manny, make food from Instagram and Pinterest.
Never heard of petty Manny. I always hear Manny petty.
Oh, she's got get a manicure, get a pedicure, and I just lowered it. She wants to get a little bit of a tan. She wants to buy some Ray-Bans. She wants to make a summer playlist that's 10 hours long. She wants to tie a message in a balloon and send it off.
What the hell, man?
Eat cotton candy. Buy 7 bikinis.
Buy 7 bikinis.
And she wants to fix her home screen. What's wrong with her home screen? So, see, gentlemen, people do take these lists seriously.
Seems
Some
a bit
people-
ambitious to me, but okay.
Yeah.
Suppose you could get that done in a summer.
Definitely the sex and party ones.
It's awesome. There's like nothing productive. There's nothing like about improving yourself in any way or taking the next step to anything. It's just
She did say
fuck yeah.
Read a book.
do some summer reading.
Did she?
Probably People Magazine and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, there is not a whole lot of productive shit on that list.
Why do you need
Probably
to,
pretty
like,
typical.
As a 17-year-old, as a chick, do you need to write out that you want to have sex?
I know.
Like, you could just...
Or blow 2 guys.
Like,
You
you blow
could check
10.
off that sex list like in one night. Like get a boob hickey, blow 2 guys, get banged. Like all of that shit can be checked off in an evening. It is what it is. Moving on. Elon Musk. This guy's starting to get freaked out about artificial intelligence.
Oh, he's not starting.
Yeah.
He's continuing to beat the drum.
Do you believe him?
I don't know. He seems to be a pretty smart dude.
Yeah.
And it does seem kind of reasonable that once you build these things and you build them to learn that, oh my gosh, they could be more powerful than us at some point and kind
Yeah.
of figure out what do I need these little human pets for anyway.
Yeah. I'm seriously think this could happen. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But he's warned that
We will.
regulation of our artificial intelligence is needed because it's a fundamental risk to the existence of the human civilization. Mm-hmm. I don't know how far down the road he's talking before these things take
Here's
over.
the problem. When do we... Like, what do we stop doing? Like...
What do you mean?
Well, what technology do we say? I mean, who's,
do you put the brakes
who's
on?
making the call on, like, this one is...
No, that's what he's trying to do. I read a big Vanity Fair a few months ago where he and others in the tech industry were interviewed, and they all have varying opinions. He's kind of the most alarmist, but there are other alarmists as well.
Yeah.
And then there's some like Zuckerberg who are on total opposite. Like, no, we're fine. Just keep developing this shit. It does seem like something you need to keep a hold on and ought to have some meetings about and figure out some parameters. And that's, I think, Musk's, maybe you're getting to that, but I think that's part of what he's saying is we've got to put our heads together on how to keep this tamped down so it doesn't get wildly out of control really quick.
Yeah. Well, when they started talking about, when a few years ago when it was like, oh yeah, the smartest man in the world and the biggest winner at Jeopardy is taking on, this supercomputer, and it's able to calculate billions of times faster any answer than you would, like stuff like that. It's like, well, how long before it realizes what's going on and doesn't,
Well, because a lot of this it's aimed at teaching it to learn from mistakes and learn what works.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned before, the concern is that it learns and it becomes so powerful that it just looks at us as completely inferior beings. Like, why the fuck do I even need you?
Yeah.
And that little kill switch you inserted on me, when
I've learned
Yeah,
now.
I've learned to turn that off. Like, you idiots.
Yeah.
And then we're being ruled by these robots.
Would they keep us on like leashes and stuff? Would they have emotion? Would they be capable of emotion? And
Well, I mean, we saw what happened with Data on Star Trek Next Generation.
Into the mic, you son of a bitch!
and no, we did not see what happened to Data.
He tried and he tried, and that was always Data's thing. He kept trying to get like closer and closer to feeling human emotion, and he never quite got there, I don't believe.
He says governments must have a better understanding of artificial intelligence technology. Artificial intelligence technology's rapid evolution in order to fully comprehend the risks. Once there is awareness, people will be extremely afraid, as they should be. By that time, we are reactive in AI regulation. It'll be too late. Normally, the way regulations are set up is when a bunch of bad things happen, there's public outcry, and after many years, a regulatory agency is set up to regulate that industry. It takes forever. That in the past has been bad, but not something which represented a fundamental risk to the existence of civilization. And so he says he's had to, reiterating his long-held argument that it's needed soon to protect humanity from intelligent machines. He's previously compared to AI to summoning the devil.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, and that's totally how we are as a society. We don't tackle problems until they hit us. We're not that forward thinking. We see things going. I see a lot of problems in society, and it's like, at what point are people going to take something seriously or react to it? It's like, no, we wait for a guy to fucking try and blow up a plane with a shoe, and then it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Start making people take shoes off.
Huh? What's that, Phil? You got an idea? Yeah, what if we make everyone take their shoes off? Okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's just do that. So that's the way we operate. And so this does scares me because his point is it will get to a point when you're starting to go, okay, we need to do something about this, where you've lost. Now it's over.
There's no turning back.
Now
no
it's over.
Correcting.
They're not looking at it, and they're not fully understanding the technology. And I think you said it well, Jay, that the point for a lot of these things to help it is to make it learn for itself, make it update itself, make it do all these things that make it easier. And it's like, dude, you're flirting with danger, because at some point this thing's going to run wild. It's going to update to a point that you can't control it anymore.
Yeah, and half the industry's pointing at Musk and saying he's an alarmist, but the dude's a pretty smart guy, put together a nice little car company, etc.
Yes.
So I tend to think that there's at least a big concern there, if not a very, very big concern.
Car company and SpaceX,
yeah,
which is figuring out on how to reuse their rocket boosters to save money and time and all that stuff. And he's, that kind of thing. Have you seen the other stuff he's doing with the underground tunnels?
Remind me.
That they're already, I don't think we've ever talked about it, Jay.
Talking about Musk and the cars?
Yeah, the sleds and stuff, like in Los Angeles. I think they're already building it, where they've got an underground thing.
I did hear about this.
Where you just pull down, you would think, you park your car in that barge and it goes across the water. But his is talking about being able to get from one end of Los Angeles to the other just because of traffic being so bad, and having these underground sleds that move with the earth in case there's an earthquake. They're taking into account all this stuff, and also going from New York to L.A. in X hours, because they can go, you get on this sled or whatever and then go 600 miles an hour screaming underground. So yeah, he's not a dumb guy.
No, he's not.
Not a dumb guy, and I'm inclined to listen to him a little bit on some of that stuff. Anyway, can we please watch some of these videos?
Yep. Pull up Terry, will you?
Do you have Terry?
Can wait no
longer.
How
how did you find Terry, by the way?
Russell and Manny came to me with Terry the other day, and we're like, you got to see this. And
there's a lot to unpack here.
There is. So basically, there's a little kid I'd say under 13, maybe under 14, that range.
Yeah, he's Russell's age.
Yeah, and he's sitting there in a red Yankees cap, and he's getting ready to he's with a guy in a wheelchair who has at least one fucked up leg. Clearly can't.
It's a soft cast, so probably a recent injury, didn't require a casting.
He's not a plege. He's not wheelchair bound for life. You can tell that. And that we will call him Terry.
Yeah. He's got some fly-ass slippers on, though, man.
The red ball-capped boy is just going to essentially light the thing and then be a bystander. Terry's the main character along with the filmer.
Yeah, the filmer is the one.
And the filmer is going to project some real concern for Terry as this firework gets lit right by Terry's wheelchair.
I think you're going out on a limb saying that Terry is temporarily in a wheelchair. And I say that because that's the Mercedes of wheelchairs. Terry is in
true.
Terry
it's an electric.
is in an electric wheelchair, so he's got control of going forward.
We're
backwards.
not talking about a no-sag negatnarb, though.
No,
we're talking about a fully developed human being,
one that didn't end in the zygote stage.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great. The reaction of the guy filming is the best, though. All right, E, go ahead. Get it lit.
Hold the hand, Tico.
That's Tico.
Oh my. Hey, hold on. Two cars come.
Two cars coming.
This is way more of the fun than I ever saw.
Do you want to? I don't know.
Okay, we're watching the long version here. All right, so they're going to light off a firework that has some major impact.
Bag up, bag up. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you
Terry finally rolls away. Dude, there was some major concern for Terry. Because that thing was right next to his chair, and it was blowing big.
Hold on a sec, E. Before it lights, I think Terry was trying to get his ass out of the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, look at Terry's right hand. I think Terry, I don't know if he got nervous or what, but go ahead.
Does it slip off the joystick?
Yeah. Why Terry is here lighting this in the first place is...
Why would you let a guy roll up?
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
It is right next to Terry.
What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you
Look at Terry laughing.
Look at Terry look to the right. Yeah. Shit. This got blowed up.
Dude, I don't know what to think of Terry. Because you're right, he has a soft cast and it's elevated. It looks like that's the product of some recent injury, but he definitely does look at home in that thing. That is a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Because he's got the joystick and everything, and you are exactly right. He couldn't get it going at first.
Yeah.
He was trying to get out of there.
He was. Yeah,
Put it
I
in
think...
reverse, Terry!
Oh, Lord Jesus, Terry.
We'll post this. Go to DetroitCast.com, and it'll be posted on today's episode.
Yeah. There was one more. Do you have the needle one, too? I don't know why I started...
No, I don't.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, E. We're running low on time anyways. We got to get to a... That's okay. We'll save it to tomorrow. What do we got for email really quick, Jay?
We do have some email. Before I get to email proper, we received from Josh. Josh sent E a nice Tigers hat, included the following note. Relish can suck my dick, can't stand innocent versus not guilty verdict, and drinks his own urine for a party trick. So that's addressing
Gotcha.
each one of us.
Yes.
I ordered a few Detroit Tigers hats online and got this gray one on clearance. However, once I got it, I realized it has rainbow flakes in it.
Ooh.
Can't think of flakes of any variety, even the frosted kind, without thinking of Easis's poop flakes in his undies. I couldn't return it, and based on E's love of flamboyant hats, I thought maybe Big E would wear this one. It's not as cool as the one Russ made, so if he doesn't want it, you can put it in the trash or whatever. Good day, gentlemen. I said good day. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for sending that. I'm sure Big Easis will don that cap.
Sorry.
No. Sorry.
Larissa writes in concerning don't hate on Donnie Wahlberg. Donald Wahlberg, we recall, was caught Instagramming a rather large $2,000 tip that he left wait staff at a Waffle House.
Yep.
A nice move, unquestionably.
Great move.
Nobody says otherwise, but
Very generous.
is the move of Instagramming that shit.
Yeah.
His own account sends out a picture of a $2,000 tip. Like,
Yeah.
look at me. You can't do that.
We
Donald.
contended anybody else on the planet could send that Instagram photo out except him.
Hey guys, says Larissa. Donald Wahlberg tweeting about his leaving a $2,000 tip at the Waffle House is not awful or obnoxious. Outrage. His giving props to those who work in the service industry, which included his parents, was quite thoughtful in my opinion. So he happened to include an image of the receipt and maybe Facebook Lived his being there, but nevertheless a gesture out of mad respect for the food service industry. In his Facebook Live, there was no mention of him leaving such a tip, but it was obvious his respect for those who worked there. He was interacting with many of the people there eating and was just another guest at the Waffle House. That happened to be Donald Wahlberg. He even invited some of the employees to the night's show along with VIP backstage passes. He is good people because I know him. Not really, but I have attended many NKOTB concerts over the years. He has always been very appreciative of the group's success and always shows tons of love to his fans. And he squeezed my hand at the concert, so I may be a bit biased.
Yeah, just a bit.
She got front row and squeezed Donald's hand.
Oh man,
Winky face.
He was the shit back in the day with the ripped jeans.
Dude,
and
he was the
long
tough
hair.
guy of NKOTB.
Hell
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have like a bandana and leather jacket, ripped jeans,
With
as
a
you
hat.
said.
He was the hip hop guy. The badass.
He was more badass. I think they had more hip hop guy in one of the other guys.
Maybe.
And Marky Mark was always more the hip hop guy, obviously.
Sure.
Him and the Funky Bunch.
Sure. No, I understand what she's saying, and I think there's a way he could have sent that
Totally,
out without the receipt.
And it's very honorable that he was appreciative of the service industry and so forth. But
Yeah.
you cannot send out the receipt. You just can't.
No, you can't. Without looking like a douche. I mean, you can. He did. But all he had to say is, hey, in the Waffle House in Georgia today, had tremendous service. They treat me like a king, and I'm sure to treat them like a queen. God bless you all. You know, say something like that, and let other people go, you know, well, what do you mean you know, treated like a queen? And let them respond.
Yeah.
Go, he gave us a $2,000 tip. Bullshit. Here's a picture of the receipt. His hands are clean.
And then you're golden, Donnie.
You're gold. But for you to send, and for Larissa, stop it. He didn't even mention the tip. No, he didn't have to. He sent a picture of it with his own autograph on there.
Well, she was saying in the Facebook Live video, apparently he didn't mention the tip.
Yeah, he hadn't left the tip yet.
That's true.
Save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right, very good. Tomorrow, I believe, be talking to Van Halen's old manager.
I believe you're right.
He was their manager from 1978 through 1985.
Noel Monk.
No bug, yes.
Should be interesting.
He's got a good book out, and Jay and I have read it, and so we're going to talk to him. We're looking forward to that. Hopefully he'll join us for that. Thank you for joining us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.